Hi, welcome to this edition of Our Ventura TV. Today's guest is Pam Baumgardner, who is the owner of Ventura Rocks. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you. Glad to be here, George.
Cool. Well, let's get to what the heck Ventura Rocks is.
Okay, well, it's a website for starters, Ventura.com, and it's all things having to do with the Ventura music scene. We list what new music is out, we list where to go, we do some editorials, but more importantly, we have a calendar of events a week out, and every single day we list where you can go to see music. So you want to go out today, you look there, and it's all listed right there for you in one place.
Good. So I want to know a little bit more about that in a moment, but let's find out how is it that you came to be running Ventura Rocks?
Okay, well, I have a webmaster background. I've been doing websites for about 20 years probably, and I thought, well, what can I do? In 2009, the economy took a major hit, and everyone was hurting, and things were slowing down, and I thought, well, what can I do to help? Okay, I'm going to do a website. Well, what's a website going to do? Well, my first love is music, so I thought, I'm going to inspire people to go out and hear music. So A, we're going to help the economy by having people go to the venues. And B, we're going to support Ventura's music scene because it really does rock. This is just an amazing music scene in Ventura. So we're doing two things. We're helping the economy and the venues, and we're helping the artists by getting them an audience.
Cool. And actually, that's a good segue into a fundamental question I have since I've lived in Ventura, and it's this. Why is there so much music in Ventura? I love it, and I'm sure most people do, but nevertheless, it seems like there's a disproportionately large amount of music for a town this size.
It is so very, very true, and I wish I could say the reason why they come here. I'm just glad they come here. If I was an artist and I could produce music, I could think of no better place that would inspire me. You have the mountains, you have the ocean, you have people that are just amazing, you have cute little towns that haven't blown up into huge giant cities. I think it's just a really nice place to settle down, raise your family, and produce some really cool music.
Good. Now let's talk about the music scene itself.
Okay.
You know, in fact, let's even put it into a little bit of historical perspective, if you will,
Sure.
to the least extent that you know. How has it evolved to where it has become what it is now?
Well, there have always been venues, and there have been the bar scenes and everything else. About 20 years ago, we had places like Charlie's, and we had Eric Erickson's, and we had Club Soda, and we had Nickleby's, and all those places are gone. And so what I've found is that our town just evolves, and it rolls with the changes, and people are a little freaked out right now because venues have started to close. Well, the truth is, 2 venues have closed. It's like Zoe's closed recently, which was a major hit to our Ventura music scene because, they were really the heart and soul of Americana music. And it's like people could go there and sit there and, order a beverage and listen to music. And it's like it was there to listen to music. You weren't there to meet people and hit on others and, be in the scene. You were there to actually support the artists. So that was a major hit. Other places are starting to pick it up a little bit, but that was a major hit. And then more recently, the good part went down. And it's like, well, that was kind of a surprise for some, and for others that kind of saw it coming. But like I said, Nickleby's went away, Charlie's went away, California 66 went away. People thought, we'll never see jazz again. But now we have a vibrant jazz scene. And I think it just evolves. And so it starts little, and it keeps going, and it changes, and here we are, current time, and it's a pretty good scene.
Yeah, and then based on your wide view of it, I mean, what could you say, if you could, about the future?
I think if I continue to do what I do and badger people to get out and see music, it could do nothing but grow and flourish and be even more vibrant, because it's pretty cool right now. Good.
Now, let's speak a little bit about the music scene as it is, because there are even folks in Ventura who don't participate in it as much as they could, and therefore aren't as knowledgeable. So let's really find out what are the strengths of the Ventura music scene.
Okay. Well, there's going to be 2 parts that we should talk about. The first part will be about venues, and then we'll talk about the special events that we have, because there are a bunch of special events throughout the year. The first one is the venues, and I list all the venues on Ventura Rocks. Now, you go to a periodical or you go to one of the newspapers or another website, and they'll only list a little bit of what is available here in town. I actually go out and I badger the venues, and I say, look, I need your music. You need to get it to me, because if I don't, I'll never get it. But I think it's important people know what music is out there. So the ones who actually work with me really well, and I love the venue owners, are like Squash Grapes, and that's Josh and Adam. They're right there on Main Street, and they're supposed to be a winery, and they are a winery. They have nice wine. But what they've done is they've made it into a jazz house, and it is just amazing. You can go in there Wednesday through Saturday, hear some phenomenal local artists playing jazz, and it's just, I mean, it just takes you to another place. It is so cool. And then they'll bring artists from out of the area into Squash Grapes, and it just makes it even that much cooler. We had Carl Hunter perform not too long ago. Carl Hunter is the sax player from Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. He's never had his own solo project before, but he was given the opportunity to do it. And so he got together some of his best buds, and he put on a jazz show at Squash Grapes that just, to this day, I get goosebumps. It was so amazing. So we had that kind of artist and support for jazz at Squash Grapes. Now, you're going to hear some jazz also at Amigos, and you'll hear it every now and then at Bob May's, and you'll hear it at Piranha's. But Squash Grapes, if you want jazz, you're going to go there. Great place. Then you have Bombay's. Bombay's right there on California Street. Diego, I love Diego. He just is so about promoting and changing the image of Bombay's, because for a while there, it was a little sketchy, and you didn't know what you were going to get, but he's really made it into a super place where on any given night, I'll go in feeling comfortable by myself and not have to worry about anything. He has blues on Wednesdays, the Ventura County Blues Society. It's called A Session with Tommy Marsh and Bad Dog. Has special guests come in like Coco Montoya or Guy Martin or Sean Jones, and they come in and they do a blues jam afterwards on Wednesday nights, and it's just so much fun. On Thursday nights, they have the Gypsy Blues Room with Hi-Hat Entertainment. And then the rest of the nights of the week, they have music, either local artists or they import them. You can dance. It's cover bands. It's 50 Sticks of Dynamite. It's New Liberty. It's, I mean, the Army of Freshmen. It's so much fun at Bombay's, and it's always just clean and safe and just vibrant, full of energy. I love it. Then you have Johnny Reese. Love Johnny. He owns Amigos. It's right there on Main Street across from the Century Theater. He loves music so much, I almost think that the restaurant is secondary to the music. It's a restaurant, but it's supposed to be a restaurant, but he has music there 7 nights a week. And he does everything from jazz to blues to cover tunes to Spencer the Gardener will come and play there from Santa Barbara, and it is just so much fun. Any given night of the week, he'll be in there shaking hands, and oh my God, did you hear who's going? It's like he had the guy from Iron Butterfly join in one night, and he just loves music so much. It's so contagious every time you go in there. Just amazing. And then you have the Watermark, which is, W2O at the very top, overlooks downtown. It's very, classy, but it's very affordable as well, and it's just so nice. They have Mark Hartley from the Watermark will have people in there like Jimmy Messina, and he's had Dave Mason in there, and he had Jorgensen from Wilco doing this electronica thing one night. So he takes chances, and he takes big names, and he brings them in, but he also has local artists that will play there. Every Thursday night, there's a band called Ventura Social Club. Might be changing their name to La Mata, but they've been in the studio, they've been recording. It's a couple guys from Ray Fresco, it's Choco, and it's Joe Ba, and then they have a drummer. Traditionally, it's Mario Caleri, who was in Ozomatli and in the Wallflowers, and then Lenny Castro, who's just this phenomenal percussionist. I mean, this kind of music in Ventura happens on almost any given night of the week. And what we do is we list it all in one place so people can look and see what there is to do. Oh, this is there? Okay, there's the address. There's a phone number if I have any more questions. Here's a link to their websites. Boom. We take care of it.
Good. Comment on Ventura as a music attraction to people outside of the town, whether it's coming from LA or Santa Barbara or anywhere else. I mean, in town, of course, I see all the music, and yet when I'm speaking to my friends in LA, they tend to think about the beaches when they're thinking about Ventura. So I don't know how much Ventura is known outside of the county as a music hub.
Well, that's an interesting question because I look at the statistics on our website quite often to see, what's popular and what editorials people are reading, or photo galleries, because I take a ton of pictures and I post them on there all the time. About 1/3 to half of the people are from LA that come to our website, and they're trying to find out what music is there. So people are reaching and they're coming. Some of it's from Santa Barbara, but most of it is LA and local. So I think that we have a draw for people, and a lot of it too has to do with the events that we have here, because while I just advertise with online, the people who do the events also do it in newspapers and radio. So that brings more people in for the special events, which is the other part of what we have to offer music-wise here for Ventura. Let's start with Ross Emery. He has Roadshow Revival, tribute to the music of Johnny Cash, and he's been doing this for a number of years. It's like 8,000 to 9,000 people coming in to see this music, and it's so much fun. It's at the fairgrounds. This year, I understand he's going to do 2 days instead of just 1, so that's going to be kind of exciting. Kat Merrick Productions, Kat from Totally Local VC, she's going to get into the game and put on a beach music festival this year. I think she's looking at May. And then we also have J.D. Drew, who last year put on Surf Rodeo, and that was 2 days on Seaward. He had 2 stages on the beach, music going at any given time. He had surf competition. He had all the vendors on Seaward. We were out there selling Ventura Rock T-shirts, and it was such a gas. And it went off without a hitch. I think there was 1 or 2 complaints about parking in the Vaughn's parking lot. Otherwise, the neighborhood, which traditionally, is kind of feisty, they had no complaints whatsoever. So they put on a terrific job. Blues Festival is brand new, and that's also Kat, and that's Ross Emery and Bill over from Players Casino. They put on the Blues Festival, and that was just a huge success. It was at State Park, and again, you have all the vendors out there, you have the stage, just music all day long, and it was just a blast. So all these people, what they do is they advertise because they want to bring people into Ventura. We want to get heads and beds. We want people staying in the hotels, spend money on food. We want them to stay longer than just the event itself, and spend money, because that, it's the economy. If the economy takes another major dive, that's going to be bad. So it's doing nothing but growing and growing and growing, and that's what we want to do. We want to continue to have it grow and to continue having the music come to Ventura.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're winding down here. We're just about out of time.
Okay.
But could you mention the website address again? And
Sure.
more importantly, is there any summating message you'd like to convey to the viewers?
Sure. Venturarocks.com. We're also on Facebook. We're also on Twitter. And what we do is we let people know, for one resource, what there is to do in Ventura having to do with music. And also the other thing that I did want to mention is that we did welcome Polly Hoganson. She is one of the owners of Zoe's. Zoe's closed. We got into a conversation, and she mentioned that she wanted to do a little bit of writing. So she is now a guest columnist for Ventura Rocks, and she does a column called Polly Hoganson Music Muse. And so we welcome her with open arms, and she's now our guest writer, and we just love it. So we have the music. We want to support the music scene in Ventura because it is so worthy, and we want people to get out and support it. And that's the most important thing, because Ventura really does rock.
I concur. Thank you very much, Pam.
Thanks, George.
This is George ALGER signing off for another segment of Our Ventura TV, and until we meet again.